painting doors, dude. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's amazing. If you catch me 9 days out of 10, I would be telling you about how my life is abysmal and I live in a hellscape and I have nothing going for me, and how I live in my grandma's basement and I don't have my own place anymore. And I'm trying to think what else is bad. But honestly, today's not the day. Today's not the day, dude, because I'm fucking hyped today, dude. Let me go on a little rant for a bit. Here's how my fucking day goes. Here's how my day goes, and I'm blessed to not live in the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, I live in the U.S. of A. And here's how my day went. I woke up today. I went to one job site. I picked up some tools. I hit a fucking bowl on the way to the other job site. I painted some windows all by myself in a goddamn gorgeous ass house for 9 hours, dude. This house that I'm painting at right now, it's this dude's getaway house, right?
Oh, he's
the dude has a house in that getaway house is in Plumpsonville near Mom's house, right?
Yeah.
His regular house is in Doylestown, 15 minutes away. This motherfucker has a getaway house.
He has 15
minutes away.
Yeah.
He's got a getaway house 15 minutes away. He's got an autistic kid, apparently. He's got a foundation. He's a philanthropist. He's a full-on rapist.
That kid is not allowed in the getaway house at all. That's the reason
he is allowed, dude.
Oh,
He's got a whole foundation where he supports families who have autistic kids, whatever like that. I'm in this getaway house. He's on vacation, dude. This fucking place is gorgeous. It backs right up to that Tohican Creek that we used to go to when we were kids and swim in. Yep. It backs up to the river. His property line goes right to that river on the other side of where we used to swim. This is his getaway house. It's 15 minutes away. You go in the fucking front door. He's got 2 houses on the property on his getaway house that he never goes to, by the way. I worked at this house on March 2nd. I'm back here today. Nothing has been touched since I left the house.
So what's the point of a getaway house if they're 15 minutes apart from each other? Like when I think of getaway house,
this motherfucker don't give a fuck, bro. He's got money to blow. I got money to blow. Family. He don't give a fuck, dude. I was in this house, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I just got a little pop up on my screen. But I was in this house. There's a chessboard, right?
Okay.
Chessboard. I'm like, yo, this shit looks expensive, Josh. We're not fucking touching shit. We're not touching shit. We're gonna be really careful with all this shit. I open up the chessboard, right? It's got an insurance appraisal slip in it. It's a $20,000 chessboard. just a chessboard in his house. It's all carved ivory. It says on the insurance slip. It's all hand carved ivory. It's a samurai chessboard. Motherfucking samurais and shit as their knights. They got fucking swords and shit. I'm in these gorgeous ass houses, and usually I'd be like, you know what? What the fuck did I do in a past life that I don't deserve this fucking life? Yeah. I don't fucking deserve to have a $20,000 chessboard. You know what I mean? But then I think to the reality that I was born in, dude. I got a fucking contractor who takes care of this property. He just had a couple of lambs slaughtered. He goes, you know what? Here's a fucking leg of lamb, dude. This is a $50 piece of meat.
Pretty good.
You take that shit for free, dude. I'm thankful, baby. I'm thankful. I'm fucking painting these windows. I'm high as hell, dude. And you know what? People go, you're high as hell at work. I'm a fucking painter, dude. You're lucky I'm not drunk, dog. You're happy that I'm not drunk.
You're pretty good. You're not coming in hungover.
You go, this guy's only stoned. Thank God. That's the kind of guy I want working at my house, dude. Thank God he's not drunk. You know what I mean? I'm fucking in there having a good old time. I'm feeling fucking great about myself, you know? Usually I would be putting myself down. I'd say, where's my horse cock? I deserve a horse cock, you know? But today is not that day, dude. I fucking paint these windows in this gorgeous ass house all day. I fucking call it a day. I call it quits. I go, I see this contractor who I'm working for. Dude's the fucking man, dude. I talked to him for a little bit. I chop it up. He's talking to me about how, you know what, one day you ain't even going to have to fucking pick up a paintbrush. You're going to be fucking quoting shit. You're going to be fucking, you're going to be wheeling and dealing, brother. Yeah. And he was telling me about how he's got 7 jobs going at once right now. And all day, I saw him in the morning and then I saw him after work. I saw him in the morning. I was thinking to myself, 7 jobs, dude. This dude, he must not have a free minute, bro. I don't have nearly as much work, and I'm stressed out as fuck just trying to juggle all my work. And he goes, you know what, bro? I fucking talked to your mom. I talked to your brother. I talked to your whole family. You're going to fucking figure this shit out, dog.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just going to happen, and you're going to fucking do it. And it's going to gradually happen. And you're going to be like, how the fuck did I end up here one day?
Yep.
And that gave me confidence. I say, you know what? Let's fucking go, bro. That really made me hype. This dude, he started out from the bottom like us, bro. He had a dad who was an asshole. All this shit. Same exact shit.
Yeah.
I talk to him after work. He's hyping me up. You know, I go home. I'm fucking hype. What do? I do a quote after work in Percy. I drive home. My girl texts me. She's like, "Yo, I'm at the bar getting drinks. I'm eating some dinner." I fucking go to the bar. I get some drinks. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking
Life's
six
good right
o'clock.
now.
It's 6 o'clock. I get some drinks. What do? I play darts for 2 hours, and I come here and I get to talk to my fucking older bro, dude.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. They say if you make $30,000 a year in the United States, you're in the top 1% richest people in the world. So right now, today, I'm fucking thankful for what I got. I
Dude,
don't
we're
give a
fucking
fuck.
rich right now, dude. We're
I don't
rich.
give a fuck, dude. With my work ethic, I could fucking pick up and start anywhere, dude. If
You
Donnie T
can,
got on the
dude.
draft,
Yes. You
if
absolutely
Donnie
can.
T if Donnie T got on the draft tomorrow and said fucking yo, by BT Dubs, you got to go kill some slims over in the Middle East. Dude, I'll have a fucking painting company in Mexico tomorrow, baby. I ain't even worried about it. With my work ethic, dude, I'll work 14-hour days, no problem, dude. You don't think I'll paint Cabo, bro? You don't think I won't kick a little bit back to the Sinaloa, bro? I don't give a fuck.
Go
I'm
right
gonna figure
forward.
it out. I'm gonna figure it out. Whatever happens, you send me up to the snow Mexicans in Canada, dude. I'll put on the Indian face, dude, and I'll get to work,
We got
baby.
it.
Just like Justin Trudeau. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll
Yeah.
put on the full turban and everything. Do you take pictures of me? I'll fucking be working my ass off 14 hours a day. I ain't even
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Yep.
So I'm just grateful today. I'm fucking grateful. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I get to talk to my bro for an hour and a half, dude. I hated this motherfucker until fucking Halo put the warthog in here. I hated this motherfucker. Someone needed to be on the missile launcher, dog.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
needed to be on the missile launcher. He was
Yep.
driving the warthog. We had the last level in Halo 2, dude. Who
We
was
got
gonna
it.
fucking ride that missile launcher? That was me, dog. I never spoke a word to this motherfucker. I never spoke a word to Ben until the fucking Halo put the warthog in this bitch.
Yeah.
And then guess what? We linked up. Oh, you're gonna play Nazi zombies by yourself?
Guess
You gonna play
what?
Nazi zombies by yourself?
Guess what? You can't get past level 5 without doing it solo, bro. You need somebody else.
Guess what, dude? I'm right in here like fucking swimwear, baby. I'm like white on rice, dude. We're back in this bitch.
Yeah. Honestly,
I'm ready to fucking go.
us getting an Xbox, like sure we had some fights, but that for real was like the catalyst of like,
Dude,
oh, we are
that was
same.
simpatico, bro. That
Yeah.
bonded us, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna play Gears of War campaign by yourself, dog? Good luck, brother.
Yeah,
Good luck.
nice
That game was
try.
designed for two, dog.
Yeah.
That game was designed for two. That honestly, I was thinking about that the other day. I seen a meme where the dude was like, "Oh, you hated your sibling? Well, guess what? This warthog needs a fucking passenger on the gunner,
yeah,
dog."
yeah, exactly. You need to start
Right
clearing
in
some
there,
grunts.
dude.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Let's
Yeah.
go, baby.
Yeah, it was tough for us growing up, man, but like I really like that was definitely the catalyst for sure of like, oh, okay, fuck it. We are same, you know? Like that was the common interest that we needed to like get the ball rolling. And
We gotta
then
figure this shit out, bro. You gonna fucking
yeah,
run that rape train on the stage and fucking Kino deterrent by yourself, bro?
yeah. Honestly, dude, it like
You ain't packing punching shit by yourself, dog. You need somebody else to fucking have that quick revive when you go down, dog.
yeah,
If you ain't got
exactly.
nobody with a quick revive, who's gonna pick you up, bro?
Yeah. It makes me happy knowing that like, you know, maybe I got to show you like, I teach you one or two things about a rape train and then you got to take off and master it and you're better at it than I'll ever be in my entire life, you know? I'm glad that maybe I got to be one of the building blocks for you on how to do a rape train in Call of Duty Zombies. And as a big bro, that's like
I'm just letting you
that's a
know
good
right
moment
now,
for me.
2026, we called it train, dude. We got rid of that first word, dude.
We're just running a train now.
We're just running a train, dog. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about with the rape train, but we just run a train nowadays. But yeah, no, honestly, that's what bonded us, dude. That's what bonded us. We had to become simpatico on the video game systems.
Yeah.
I might hate you when we're not playing Nazi zombies, but dog, I need Rick Toffin to pick me up, bro. I need a little Rick Toffin action.
We put aside our differences. Okay, you know why? Because you have Juggernog, and you can take one extra hit to come over and revive me.
And we gotta fucking figure this shit out as a team, dude.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm just feeling thankful. I'm feeling thankful today. I got a little brother who fucking works for me. He works his fucking ass off, dude.
He does, yep.
He's a good ass kid, bro. I feel thankful, you know, even though you abandoned me and I abandoned him. We figured this shit out, dude. We figured this shit out, baby. We figured it out.
I feel like that contractor who gave you the pep talk today was like the right person at the right time. You know? Like
100%.
That could have been the same conversation coming from a different person and it wouldn't have mean anything, but it just happened to be the right combination of like good talk, good time, right person.
Dude, this guy, I've had a couple of those in my life. Exactly the same thing that you're talking about. This guy, he's definitely a bright light in my life right now. One that I can think of off the top of my head is when our parents got divorced, right?
Yeah.
This is actually a long story. It's a guy that I used to sell weed to in high school when I was selling weed. And now I'm not selling weed anymore, Grammy. If you're listening to this, she knows I'm not selling weed because
yeah.
she knew when I first lived here that I was selling weed. Because I would be like, yo, I'm going out.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
right back.
You
And then
just
I
go
would
out
fucking
back.
spin the block or whatever.
Yeah.
I was always good about it though. I never trapped out of my house ever. Even when I lived in the trap house, all my friends who lived in the trap house, they'd have people coming in the spot picking up weed. I was never that guy. I was always smart about it.
Good
Here's
for
what
you,
I would
dude.
do. Yeah, you meet me down the street, right? I'm gonna put on running clothes, like I'm gonna take a run. I'm gonna jog 1 block. I'm gonna have you pick me up on the corner. I'm gonna have you drop me off on the other corner around the block so no one knows the difference. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna hop out. That's always been my rule. And when I was at Grammys the first time I used to do that, I used to have 2-3 pounds in Grammys when I first moved here, bro.
Really?
I was still trapping heavy. I said this shit to Josh. I used to make more money trapping than I did with this painting business now,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I didn't save a dime because I was smoking like a chimney back in the day.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
smoking like 7, 8 blunts a day, dude. I mean, ever since the age I was like 17, 18, no one passed a blunt, bro. If you asked to hit us, if you asked to hit your homie's blunt, all
Then he just
everybody I ran with sold weed, so they'd be like, "Yo, why the fuck you asking me to hit my blunt? Yeah, you roll
yeah,
your own
yeah,
shit."
yeah, yeah.
So I don't sell no weed no more. But wait, what was I saying? Where was I getting at with that statement?
Good conversation, right person, right time.
Oh,
You
yes.
turn
Okay,
your
so
life around a
back
little
when I
bit.
was in high school and I
Okay,
was
yeah.
selling weed, our parents got split up, right? One time I
Yeah.
went to the Quick Stop.
I remember. Yeah.
You know the Quick Stop? Oh, you remember? You
Yeah,
remember?
I remember. Yeah, the quick stop. The one in what was that?
It's
Fifth or
past the
second?
perk.
Okay, yeah, I know what
Past
you're
the
talking about.
perk on the right
Yep.
across from Heritage Green.
Yep, know what you're talking about.
So I went in there. This is back when they used to sell glass.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
did.
hey, they used to sell glass in there. We had a guy named Rana. Rana was the Indian at the time. You know the Indians. They come
Yep.
over. They run the gas station because they get tax free for 7 years,
Yep.
and then they go back to India. Apparently, that's what Rana told me.
It was cool
He
because
used
we
to
could
let
buy
us.
cigarettes and he didn't care how old we were.
Yeah, he used to let us sit in the parking lot and sell weed all night out of his
Yeah.
spot. He didn't give a fuck. Although one time, I did meet the guy who um, burned me at Susie's Lounge. I met him at Rana's.
Really?
Yeah, at the quick stop, I met him at Rana's. I sold him a bunch of shit, and then one time I went to his house. I know I probably told this story before, and I was trying to get Xanax. This was back when Xanax was big. When I was in high school, it was like Future, you know,
Yeah,
Zanny family.
yeah,
4 exotic balls, and I got
Yeah.
them soaking panties. Tell them they
Yeah.
were certified. Welcome to the Zanny family. So everybody was doing Xanax, and a bunch of kids I went to high school got hooked off of heroin on that. But so I went to get Xanax one time. I never did a Xanax ever because I went to this dude, Russ was his name. I went to his house in Heritage Green. And it's the only time I ever seen heroin too. I went in his house and he had heroin on the table. And it was not he wasn't bagging it up. This was a personal amount of heroin.
Oh,
You
it
could
was just
tell.
right. It was just sitting right there in the dish.
It was just
that he
sitting right
had
on the coffee
there.
table.
Yeah.
He had a baby in diapers walking around the house.
Oh no. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's
I'm
literally
like,
the movie
bro.
Train Spotting. That's the movie Train Spotting right there. And then they take the heroin and then they're out and they were out for days and then the kid dies in the crib because they were
Yeah.
high. Yeah.
I think this guy was more of an upper guy though, if I had to be honest with you.
So he would take some downers so that would be his excuse to go and take the uppers right after.
I don't know. I think his girl was into the downers, if I had to be honest with you, because she looked like a little bit of heroin, but he was more of like a coke meth guy.
Gotcha.
But then the reason I bring that up is because one time I went to his house to get Xanax in high school, and he handed me a handful, right?
Yeah.
And I opened up my hand, and it was 4 different pills. And I said to him, I said, "Yo, like,
they're just
like,
they're just sticking to his like sweaty hand too. He's got to scrape them
I said, yo, bro, like,
What's
I'm looking
up?
for Xannies." And then he said to me, he said, "Yo, these are like Xannies."
No, it's not.
It was
Dude. No,
it was 4
fentanyl.
completely different.
Yeah.
It was 4 completely different pills. I was like, bro, these cannot all. You know, maybe one of them is. Maybe one of them is like a Xanny,
I
but
know this one's out. This is ibuprofen for sure.
yeah, 4 of them can't be like Xannies.
Yeah.
But this is the same guy who I used to pick up yayo from at Susie's Lounge when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
But completely unrelated. One time I went into that same convenience store that we used to trap out front of, and this guy was in there, and he was like, the guy was like looking for a specific glass piece, right?
Yeah.
And the shop owner was like, "Yeah, I don't have that piece in there." I think it was a bowl head that he needed of a specific size,
Yeah.
whether it was 14 or 12 millimeters, I don't remember. But I said to the guy, I said, "Yo, actually, I have one of those in my whip." So
Okay.
then I went out to my whip. I gave this dude the bowl head or whatever. And ever since then, me and him started chopping it up, and I would sell him weed. His name was Travis. I remember that to this day. I hope he's doing good, Travis. I hope you're doing good, bro. So I would go over. He's like a 45, 50-year-old man. I would sell him weed all the time. Me and him would just chill and smoke.
Yeah.
One time, he had never smoked a dab before, obviously,
Yeah.
because he was an old head. He didn't know what dabs was. I sold dabs in high school mostly.
Dude,
It
were
was
you trying
mostly
to kill
dabs
him?
and edibles.
Yeah.
And I was so funny on Snapchat. I would always like post hella videos of people taking big bong rips, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was trying to fuck this dude up. I know I told this story before too, but I'm gonna say it again. And he was like, "I never done a dab before." He's like a 45-year-old guy. I'm like 16. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I never did a dab before." In my head, I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
like,
gonna
"Hey,
give
look,
him a
buddy."
crazy ass dab. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it on my Snapchat, dude,
You're
and like
gonna have a
film this
paranoid
guy."
attack. You're gonna think you're dying in 2 hours, dude.
So, dude, I gave this dude a worm, right? I gave this dude a
Mhm.
little worm, which is what we call a long ass dab for the Mormons, yo. It's a long ass, like you spread the dabs out like this. Because when dabs first came out, bro, like I remember, I know I'm digressing, but we got an hour to kill, so I'm gonna just tell the story too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But so when dabs first came out, I remember when I was in ninth grade, my plug was like, "Yo, I got these new things. It's a little cartridge with dabs in it, right? You know the carts that
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
smokes nowadays."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "So you get the cartridges for this price, and then you throw in another $5 for the battery that connects to the bottom." And I remember saying to him in ninth grade, I remember saying, "Yeah, nobody's gonna fucking pay the extra $5 for the battery, dude. I don't want them, bro. Just give me the dabs." Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was so wrong. I was so
You're
wrong.
such a for the convenience of like doing it in a vape. Yeah. Yeah. You couldn't
I
have
was
been
like,
more
dude,
wrong.
nobody's gonna do that, dude.
That's because
Nobody's gonna fucking pay.
you were 13 and had no concept of how money worked at the time.
I was 16 or whatever. But I remember telling him like, dude, nobody's gonna fucking smoke these
It's not
carts.
gonna
And
happen, bro.
nowadays, anybody smokes these carts. This is the same guy, by the way, who he used to order shit off the dark web, and he would pick up. Um, he would you had to pay in Bitcoin back in the day, right? This
Yeah.
was it might have been after the Silk Road. I don't remember if it was the Silk Road or after the Silk Road.
Mm.
But I just remember him telling me that there was a Bitcoin place. It was a machine, and it was in the city. It was the only place you could buy Bitcoin at the time. There was no apps or shit like that where you could buy
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And he told me that you would have to go down to the city and feed $100 bills into this machine. And he said that you would have to bring friends with guns to like stand around this
Yeah, I believe
machine. To, like,
everybody knew that was the machine that people were moving money in.
yeah. So same guy. He's like, "Yo, I got some cartridges or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, nobody's gonna buy those." I
Yeah,
was
nice
wrong.
nice
I'll
try,
admit that
yeah,
one. I
yeah.
was wrong. Same thing with Bitcoin. When he told me about that, I think Bitcoin was at $7,000. So
Yeah, so you were like, "There's no way it's gonna go that," and
I
then
mean,
by the
I
end of
remember
high
coming
school, it
home
was
to
like
mom and dad.
18,000.
I remember coming home to mom and dad and being like, "Yo, there's this thing. It's called Bitcoin. It's at $7,000 right now. You just got to get one or two of these puppies, and like you're gonna be
You're
cashing out."
set for life.
And obviously, they didn't have $7,000 to spend. But if they had listened to me then,
Yeah.
if they had listened to me then,
Yeah.
dude, they could be fucking in Miami like
Yeah.
fucking hookers right now.
They're like, "Wow, our stoner son is right. We
I
definitely
mean,
should."
I was
I mean,
right,
you are
bro.
right. I get why they
That
were
was
like,
a
"All right, nice try." Also, I don't think they had $7,000 to blow at the time.
no. They did not have
Yeah,
seven G's to blow.
there is no way. Yeah.
No, but so whatever. So I'm at the gas station. This dude's like, "Yo, I need this piece or whatever." I go to his house. I'm chopping up. I'm boys with this dude, man. Like he's like 45 years old. His name is Travis or whatever. I'm selling to this dude every week for like years on end.
Yeah.
I go to give this dude a worm, like a big ass dab,
Was that
and
what did we hit? I guess what did you hit on the Happy Losers podcast?
What?
Did they hit a? Were you guys doing a worm for? Because it was a dab, but you were
Oh
like, I
yeah,
haven't.
yeah,
You
yeah.
were
He
like, I
did a
haven't done
dab.
this
Yeah,
since high school. Like whatever they were
yeah,
doing there, and I
yeah.
was
He hit me with a dab, and he hit me with a fat dab too. But
okay. I was like, I was.
I'm a
I mean, I
veteran
know
of the
what.
game,
Yeah, I know what dabs are.
so
So I was like, what was different about that dab that we hit there? I was like, was it just a big one? Was it a worm? I was like trying to
it was a
remember
big
what was
one.
there.
So like when I was in high school, dude, like even after high school, I stopped dabbing when I was like 20 years old. Like you build a tolerance eventually to dabs to the
Yeah,
point.
for sure.
And dabs is like heroin, bro. Like I always say that. Like people always talk about how like it shouldn't be illegal to smoke weed and drive or whatever.
But
And I
dabs.
agree with that. You should be able to smoke weed and drive, but I think that dabbing and driving should be illegal
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
yeah,
been multiple times when I've been behind the wheel off a dab, like, yo, I should not be driving right now.
yeah,
But yeah, he hit me with a dab. Randy hit me with the dab, and thankfully I know like my place, so I know like, yo,
yeah, yeah. I'm
chill,
good.
chill,
I'm good
chill.
here.
I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I'll take half of this, but he was hitting a worm, but I was hitting way bigger than whatever he gave me that day, bro. I mean,
yeah.
I was talking like 1, 2 inch worms. When dabs first came out, we didn't know nothing about a rig either. We didn't know anything about a rig, so we would roll a blunt, and then we would snake a dab, like stretch it out, and then we put it in the blunt.
Yeah.
And then the blunt would always boat or canoe or whatever you guys call it in whatever
Mhm.
region you're in, because the dab would like not burn the same temperature or whatever. Because it doesn't really
Oh, yeah,
burn.
yeah. Because
You
it
have to
needs to
like
be
get it red
hotter
hot, like
for
you're
it. Yeah,
smoking a crack pipe. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So we would just like smoke crazy dabs like that. Also, I don't know which rapper came up with this. Whichever rapper mentioned dipping blunts in lean,
What are we
I,
doing?
I I don't know who that was, but I believed y'all, dude. And I would dip every.
No way,
That's
really?
the only opiate I ever did was lean. I drank lean twice, and then other than that, I would dip my blunts in lean all the time. Apparently, it does nothing. I had no clue,
But it
but
looks cool,
back in
and
the day,
it's a
yeah,
cool thing to say for sure.
yeah, the blunt crackles when you smoke it. It like
Yeah,
crackles like. But yeah, so I would smoke dab blunts. I'd smoke lean blunts, whatever. But the point that I'm getting to is, I gave my boy Travis, who's a 45-year-old man, right,
yeah.
and he's a gay man.
Okay.
He's a gay man, which I didn't know, but he lived with another dude, right? And then eventually he sat me down and he was like, I got to tell you something. I was like, all right, what are you going to tell me? And he was like, yo, by the way, like me and my roommate,
We're undercover cops.
we're gay.
And you were like, all
And I
right.
remember saying to him, I'm like, dude, like, this isn't the 80s, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. I want to hear all your
Yeah,
gay
yeah,
stories,
yeah,
dude. I want to hear everything about being gay, dude. I don't give a
yeah.
fuck, bro. You just tell me about it. And he was telling me about how he was a bartender in Key West when he met his husband. And he was down there. He was a gay bartender in Key West, probably raking in that cock, bro.
For sure, yeah. Because Key West is where people try to go for like no rules down in Florida.
Exactly. So I remember I gave this dude this dab. I was expecting him to get fucked up. So I pulled my phone out, take a video of him. I gave him a worm, bro. A worm.
Yeah,
A fat ass dab, like the shit that I was ripping.
yeah.
And dude, I never knew a guy smoked crack. There was never an easier sign that a guy
You
smoked
know,
crack.
smoked a little bit of
It was
crack than the fact that he hit that dab and
Travis,
was fine.
first dab he ever hit, bro. I hit him with the fattest dab, dude.
No way. And he kept it in?
Held that whole shit in, bro. I
No
was
way.
filming him and everything. I was like, yo, this dude's gonna cough his ass off, bro.
You with
Nah,
your
dude,
phone
not
just
Travis,
waiting?
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my phone, I'm waiting, bro. Nah, dude, he choked that shit down like it was no problem.
That's wild.
I remember having the thought in my head, like, yo, this dude's gay for sure. But the reason I bring this, or no, not this dude's gay, but this dude smoked crack for sure.
That's when I knew he was gay when he really held that in.
No, he told me he was gay. But
Oh, man.
he had an original Picasso print in his house. I'll never forget that.
Yo, Travis was rich?
He wasn't rich, but his
His partner
boyfriend,
was.
husband, whatever, was rich. I
Yeah.
never even met the husband or whatever. Me and Travis would always smoke in the garage or whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole reason that I bring this up is that when our parents got divorced, I went over to Travis's to sell him weed, and he sat me down and he just fucking told me like it was and just gave me the whole deal and just kind of broke it all down for me.
Yeah.
And really just he gave me the conversation that I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Good guy, man. I hope he's doing good. to this day, but he just, he gave me the conversation that I needed to hear, and it spoke to me on the inside, and I was like, you know what, he's right, you know.
Yeah. It's funny how like I've definitely had conversations. I remember one time it pissed mom off because I remember when I came home early from the mission that first time, brother, I was pretty down in the dumps. I felt like that was my Hail Mary. That's all I had going for me, and I screwed that up. And mom would try to give me a bunch of pep talks. I don't blame her. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a good parent. But then like um what was his name? Brother Anderson. He gave me a
Sometimes
pep
just
talk
hearing it from a
once.
third party.
Exactly. Brother Anderson gave
Sometimes
me a
if you
pep
just
talk.
hear it from somebody who's not involved,
And I remember he pretty much told me everything mom had been telling me of like, go get over this. It's okay. It's a bump in the road. You're gonna get back on the horse and do whatever you want to do. You don't have to go back on a mission, but like stop moping around and being depressed, basically. And
Wait,
it
who's
that
Brother Anderson?
you don't remember him at all?
They
He
have
was
kids?
super rich, lived right down the road from us. He I was friends with his son Eric. They left to go live in England and then Texas and then came back. By
Oh,
then,
I vaguely remember.
all the kids had kind of moved out and it was just him and his wife there. But he was like easily the richest guy in the ward and he lived down the road
I
from us.
vaguely remember him, dude, but I
He
vaguely like
he would come
he
over.
lived like not on Old Bethlehem, but on the road past that on the right.
Yeah, yeah, yep. You're right. You'd go
Yep,
down
I vaguely remember that.
Ridge Road a little bit and then right and it's this
Past
tiny.
Old Bethlehem, the next right past Old Bethlehem.
Yeah, and it's like he lived in like a rich neighborhood where it's just one
Why can't
winding
I picture
road.
him in my head, dude? I know exactly who you're talking about, but I can't
Yeah,
picture him.
he was actually cool because he's like, hey, I'm gonna come over every. I at first hated it, but I understand why he did it. He's like, I'm gonna come over every day, and we're gonna just read the scriptures for a little bit, like on my way back from work. And I was like, fudge, dude, I want to do that. And we did that for like 3 months of him coming over every day, taking the time out of his day, and we would just read like a
He had
chapter.
two sons.
He had like 4 sons. And like
He had a son named
and like
Brian.
3 daughters. Eric, maybe there is a Brian Anderson. There's an older one. The
Okay,
Eric
I'm sorry.
Eric was my age and he was the youngest. Either way, I realized what he was doing and it was him giving a shit about me. Like he was like, I'm not here to read scripture with you. I'm here to check up and see how you're
And you're
doing.
like,
And
can you have a catch with me in the front yard?
I know. Well, and then he would have to get dad to like get up and like go and read the scriptures with us too. And but I was like, oh, you're checking up on me, like, and I really appreciated it. But man, he gave me a pep talk one night and I came in. And I think the next day I was talking to mom about it, and mom kind of got a little like annoyed. She's like, I've said the same things to you for the last like 3 months. How come that didn't check in with you? And
Something you got to hear it from a different person, though.
that's when I realized I was like, oh, it has to be the right person, the right time. Lots of times it has to be someone that doesn't have a dog in the race.
Right.
It's got to
No dogs
be
in the race. Rest in peace.
it's got to be just kind of out of the blue, dude. So it was cool. It was good.
And he said to you, he's like, dude, I know what your search history is, but you're not gay, dude.
You're not gay. It's okay. We all go through the phase. The church actually has something called this. It's called the Great Divide. It's a challenge that every young man has to go through, and the Lord hits it with you. It's like when you see the ring in Lord of the Rings. If you can overcome it, you come back a stronger man. And so we kissed and we made love all night. And I woke up the next morning. I said, I think I'm straight. And he goes, you did it. You passed the test. And I put my pants on and I went back home.
Oh, wait, what did he fucking say to you?
It was basically about forgiving myself because I was like, man, I messed up as far as I'm not mad that I came home early because I was blinking. I'm mad because yeah. Yeah, whatever
Let's go.
leads you. I was mad because I had let myself down and I've more than I had let other people down. I had really put all my eggs in this basket and I felt like I screwed it up. And I felt like there was a lot of shame with that as far as me being like I was a loser high school kid with nothing going for him, and this was my one thing that I was like I'll figure it out when I'm on my mission of what I want to do with my life. And
That's
I
not true though, bro. You were not a
ruined
loser,
that.
dude. You were way more active in high school than I was, bro. You fucking
Y-
wrestled for years,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I
You know
know
what
that.
commitment
Yeah.
that is? You know what commitment that is, dude? I bitched out. I went to one wrestling practice and I faked an injury and left, dog.
I
This
was
is a
sorry.
true story.
Academically, I was a
I
loser
fucking
as far as it goes.
I
I
didn't
wasn't getting into
realize.
college.
Yeah, but you were way more motivated than I was, dude. I went to one practice and I didn't even realize that the depression medication I was on made me gain weight. I barely made it through a practice. I told him I was going to the nurse and then I left, bro. I
You
never went home. Dude, you were
skedaddled.
way more driven than I was, bro.
Yeah, I guess, but I still at the time was like, oh, I've got.
Yeah, you're beating yourself up.
Yeah, I had the most
How about that
pessimistic viewpoint of
money?
myself. And I was like, yeah, you were moving weight. I was like, Jake's not even here to like teach me his ways. And I worked a job that I hated when I came back. All of my friends were in college. I didn't have any other plans. I legit was just like, I don't
You
know what
remember
I'm
the
gonna
letter
do.
I
I'm
wrote you?
screwed right now. I do remember the letter that you wrote me. Yeah, I
Dude,
do remember the letter you wrote
I
me.
had no other way of coping, bro. I just
Yeah.
remember I wrote you that letter and I was like, yo, you ever trying to get high sometime? Let me know, dog.
Yeah. And I was like, we all have different ways of saying I love you. And I think that's just what he said. I love
that,
you.
that was my only coping technique. I was like, yo, I know you're on your mission, but if you're trying to blaze
If you want to
420,
come
dog,
up and hang out, let's do it, dude.
if you're trying to listen to a little Bob Marley and get loose,
Yeah.
brother, I'm down, dude.
Could you
I hope
be
you know that was
loved
my way of trying to relate,
and
dog.
be loved? Yeah, literally.
I remember writing that shit to you.
I remember I think I already told you, but mom and dad wanted me to like write a scared straight letter to you. Basically of like, oh, Jake's going through a tough time. Like, can you write something about him to hopefully get him to stop doing drugs? And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I could. And I remember, I don't remember what was on the letter I was writing, but I remember I finished the letter and I looked at it and goes, this is gay, I'm not doing it. And I crumpled it up and I threw it away. I was just like this. I was like, I'm not sending this to Jake at all. I'm never gonna do that. Oh, I'll talk to him at Christmas. But that's what I'm saying is like right person, right time, doesn't matter. When I was leaving my mission president's wife and I had a really cool, like, just we're buddies, right? She was kind of like, I hate the fact that people put on a face around me because I'm this like person of power and they're trying to appease me. But
Yeah,
Elder
you said
Smith,
I ain't put it on a face.
and she's like, but Elder Smith is,
Yeah,
anyways. I
I
was
put it
like,
on a tongue though.
you're right there. Sister Tavares, I know you don't understand a word of this, so we're good. She doesn't speak a lick of English, but
Let's go. Get around my country. No.
where's your card? No, they're in Brazil right now. I think they
That's where they should be. I dare them to come up here.
Yeah, come and try it.
Come and take it, bitch.
Yeah. She's like 4. She's like grandma's height. She's like 4'9", and she's a fireball. She reminded me a lot of grandma, which I think is why I was like, "You're chill." This is like
I gravitate towards grandmas too, dude. Short grandma, you got me, bro. Whatever you're saying, dude.
In you, dude. Yeah,
if you're a short grandma, bro, I'm listening, dog.
Yeah.
I noticed that same thing, dude.
Yeah. I remember one time there's this one. So like the mission structure is there's mission president and his wife. They're running the show, and then you've got these elders. There's usually 2 of them. Our mission we had 4 because they were so big. Called the assistants to the president, and they're like the right hand man. They're gonna help do whatever they need. They've got special assignments, whatever. And then they got office elders, which I declined because I was like, I suck at writing in Portuguese. I'm okay. I'd rather be in the field. Zone leaders, which I was stuck at for 2/3 of my mission. District leaders, regular missionaries, all that jazz. So anyway, I interacted with her a lot. I remember there's one time this AP was just talking to her and I was in the room and he was put on the show trying to be really nice to her. And she just stopped what she was saying and she's like, "You're just an act." She's like, that's literally to his face. She was just like, es un teatro. She was like, "Stop acting. You're just an act." She was like, "I just don't feel like I'm talking to a real person." And so like, and I remember that wrecked him for like a couple months. Like I remember talking to him a little bit after that. He was just like, dude, I rolled that around in my head for like months. I couldn't stop thinking about that because he's like, she's so right. Either or, the last night of my mission, right before I was about to get on the plane the next morning, I was like, what do I do with my life? I know I'm going to school. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got this game plan. I hope it's a good game plan. Her and I, we stayed up. There was a couple of other people. We chatted till like 3 in the morning. It was great. And then at the end of the night, she was just like, it was really wild. She's like, give me a hug. And she stood up on the coffee table so that she could like be like eye to eye. And then as I'm going in for a hug, she like slapped me in the face as hard as she could. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then she's like, stop thinking. She's like, your heart knows what it wants. Just follow your heart right now. And I was like, sounds good. And then she gave me a big hug, went to bed. That was the last I saw her. But I was like, that was it. I know, and I know I've had
I needed
conversations
that.
with I probably had other conversations with other missionaries. I brought up the same things. That was the right person at the right time that did the right thing. That really didn't have a skin in the game. They didn't need to give that to me, but they decided to give that to me, and
But it means
that
a
was it.
lot.
It meant a
Yeah.
lot, and that's the confidence I needed when I came home to be like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go to
I'm gonna
school.
lock in.
I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna be okay. Was kind of the feeling that I got after that.
Hell yeah, dude. When are we doing drugs together, dog?
Dude, let's do Ibogaine.
Dude, I was thinking that same exact
Yeah.
thing, dude. I was thinking that same exact thing. We never smoked together.
I know.
We
dude.
never drank together.
I know.
Anything like that. I smoked with Nikki twice, dude. Before she became a stripper, dude, I smoked with Nikki twice.
Yeah. I feel like
I
we missed
remember-
out on like good moments before I like got really
I remember
religious.
when I was young and like Nikki was like, all right, we're gonna go smoke or whatever. And I was so paranoid. This is before I sold weed. I must have been like 14 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or I started selling weed in 9th grade. So it was probably like right before I started selling and smoking weed heavy, right? And she took me out to smoke. And I remember I was so paranoid. She was like, yo, we'll just smoke this joint and just drive around. And like
You were like, whoa.
me in high school, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I used to drive around and hit dabs and I'd have my passenger seat hit the blowtorch on the dab rig. And one time my steering wheel of the Chevy Malibu caught on fire because the blowtorch hit the steering wheel. But like when me and Nikki smoked, I was like, oh my God, we cannot drive and smoke, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get arrested, dude. We can't. So I made Nikki park up, bro. And I made her like park up at Nakamix and then we smoked together twice.
Yeah.
This only happened twice.
Yeah.
And I also remember her boyfriend at the time, Kumar. Remember Kumar?
I remember him. Yeah.
I remember, dude, he is a real one, bro. He's a real one.
He was cool. She had him wrapped around her finger, which I felt bad for him because there were some times he was crying in the driveway and I had to like close the window. But
I mean, that's a story as old as time, brother.
But he was a cool dude. The only
But
downside,
he was a real one.
he would yell at pitchers at baseball games, which I was like, ooh, I don't know him. But
Hey,
other than that,
hey.
cool dude. Really liked him. Really liked him.
But the reason I'm bringing him up is because I remember one time when I was like 14, he pulled me aside and he said, yo, I have a lot of friends who started smoking weed at this age and now they're on heroin.
Yeah.
So I want you
Be
to
careful.
make sure that you ain't never do no pills, no heroin, anything like that. And I credit him to this day for the reason that I said no to that dude who gave me the handful of Xanax.
Yeah.
He really, I could have fucking got hit by a bullet and I dodged it because he said, yo, I have friends
You're replaying that.
who they started smoking weed at 14 and the next thing you know, they're on Xannies. Next thing you know, they're shooting dope. So,
Yeah.
and I credit that dude. I credit him for that because I remember at a very young age, he took me aside. No Nikki, nothing. He took me aside and said, yo, you got to watch out for this, this, and this. And I remember to this day, he is the catalyst for me avoiding all of those things. I mean, I was highly susceptible to that shit. And I avoided all of those things.
He was the only one that was like forewarning for you, you know, which
exactly.
is like,
He was like, yo, I've been down this path. I've seen how it goes and you got to fucking watch out. So credit to Kumar. But yeah, when I smoked with Nikki twice, I was like super paranoid, like, oh shit, like, yeah, we're going to get arrested immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and you, we never smoked together. So we got to do the ABBA game, bro. We got to do something together, dude. Whatever it is, we got to do something together. No mom, no anybody in the
No,
picture,
nothing.
bro. We got to
I
do Ibogaine, ayahuasca. The place that I want to go do Ibogaine at, it's a 5-day retreat.
is that
On day
Tijuana?
one, you get, it's whatever Rick Perry and
Yeah,
Brian,
his clinic that he does. Yeah.
yeah, Brian Hubbard, whose grandmother lived in a cupboard or
Yeah.
whatever his name is. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what his name is,
I know
but I
exactly what you're talking
listened to,
about.
he was just on Rogan recently, him, Rick Perry, and Brian Hubbard.
Yeah.
But he talked about the clinic that he went to in Mexico, and you're fully hooked up to like machines and everything like that because Ibogaine can make your heart drop or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
you have to be hooked up to machines.
Yeah,
He
it gets you on
said
a drip.
day one or whatever, you get the Ibogaine, you get to recover for a day on day two, and then day three you get ayahuasca, and then you
Nice.
recover for that for two
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
5-day experience,
Yeah.
and this is the experience that. So for those of you who don't know or whatever, nobody listened to this anyway, but our bisexual listeners in Sweden or whatever,
Yeah.
Rick Perry, he was like the head of the FDA in like Georgia or Alabama, something like that. I don't even fucking know.
Texas.
No,
Oh,
Texas is.
because he became governor of
Uh,
Texas.
honestly, I don't know, but one of them is the governor, and the other dude was the
Head
head of the FDA in
Okay,
Knoxville
gotcha.
or whatever. I don't know, whatever. But
You're good.
so the
you're
head
good.
of the governor in Texas, he had a family member who had PTSD, heavy PTSD from Iraq, whatever. He sent him down to. He had tried to commit suicide a bunch of times. He was addicted to opioids or whatever. He sent him down to Mexico to do the Ibogaine, and he was completely cured after one time.
Yeah.
But the same facility that they both like recommended on their first episode of Joe Rogan, it's the facility I'm talking about in Mexico where you get Ibogaine the first day, you get a day to recover, and then they hit you with
Yeah,
ayahuasca
yeah,
on the
yeah.
third day or whatever.
Yep.
But yo, we
It's
should do that shit, bro.
it's supposed to like because it's so similar to like EMDR from everything I've learned about them. It's supposed to tear down your walls. You are
Yeah,
gonna
it tears
get
it right down.
to the heart of whatever's eating at you, dude. All your defenses, they can't
100%.
fight the ibogaine. They can't fight the ayahuasca.
No,
All the
they
lies
cannot.
that you tell yourself, they don't exist anymore. It's just you and your core that's left, and you have to like look straight into it, basically. And that's the part like that's why it works, and that's why it works quickly too. Like I remember my EMDR like therapist was like, "This is like when we start. This is 1 or 2 sessions. You'll know right away if it's working." And I was like,
Right.
"Oh, holy shit!" Because I genuinely is like, there's like all the lies I've told myself, all the times I said I'm okay, even my personality that I keep up as like a barrier, it's gone. It's just me and that part of myself that I don't like looking at, and I've got to come to terms with it. And then the good part is
So,
hopefully, and I'm guessing it's the same way with the ibogaine. You've got somebody there to also teach you how to fix that side of you a little bit, and that's the part that I'm excited about.
yeah, I don't even think you have to have a person there. I think you kind of figure it out for yourself. So, ayahuasca is the active ingredient in DMT, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
one molecule off from magic mushrooms.
nice. Yeah, okay.
Magic mushrooms and ayahuasca, they're one molecule off. So I had a situation going on when I was like 20 years old or whatever like that. I got these mushrooms, right? And ever since I was a young age, I would take the whole eighth of mushrooms.
That's
So
so much, dude.
if you want to like experience some shit, if you want to like calculate what's going on in your life, you got to take the eighth of mushrooms, right?
Yeah,
Nowadays, I'll take a gram, right? I'm fine. I can still drink all night, get hammered, whatever. A gram, like it's like pretty much nothing, right? But the eighth is like when you really want to deal with some shit. I got an eighth of these fire ass mushrooms, bro. These are the best mushrooms I ever had in my life. And I never done acid. I know you might listen to this podcast and assume this
be
dude
like,
has done
no
acid.
way. Yeah,
I never done acid, and the reason is because when I was a young kid selling weight or whatever, I went to this dude's house who sold weight. He also sold LSD. That's what he sold majority of was LSD.
yeah.
And he would get the blank sheets of 1,000 squares, right?
Jeez, yeah,
It'd be 1,000 squares blank, right? And then he would get the dropper of LSD. This is back when I think you still can order drugs off the dark web. Obviously, you can,
yeah,
but I'm not like locked in like that,
yeah.
like
we
I
all
was
know.
at one point. Like the best yayo I ever had was from a dude who sold who got yayo from the dark web, straight from Colombia, uncut. But
Yeah,
that's
I hear that
besides the
was like the
point.
golden era. Was like Silk
Yeah,
Road and all that jazz.
yeah. Back when I was in high school, like you could order anything. This dude would order shit to his house, bro. Straight to his house. It didn't matter what it was. When I was in high school, I was getting prepackaged dabs from California that
Jeez.
he would order to his house, right? And
Yeah.
then one time he ordered yayo, whatever, all this shit. He was like, "Yeah, like I need you to come over and test this." I was 16 years old or whatever. I took one little key bump of this shit that the dude
You're like,
ordered off the dark web, and I was like, "Yo, I'm telling you right now, you have to cut this shit, or people are gonna go
this is
crazy, bro."
way
And
too
then he
strong.
sold this shit to one of my boys who went to senior week, right?
Oh no.
And this dude jumped out of a second story window
Yeah. He said,
on senior week,
I'm going
and
home," and he jumped out the window. Yeah.
and he stood up like ah, and then he still like ran around for the
Yeah.
rest of the night. And
Yeah.
I told this dude, I said, "You gotta cut that shit because you're gonna run into some problems." But so when I was in high school, I used to pick up from this dude who would sell acid, right? And I would see him. He had the dropper of LSD, right? Like an eyedropper, but it was LSD. He would
Yeah.
get the blank sheets of 1,000 papers, right? And he would drop one drop on each sheet, right?
Yeah.
And then one time I seen him dropping, and he was always fucked up on acid. And one time
You
when I
were
was going
just
to pick
like,
up weed, I seen him dropping, and he put one drop on one square, and the next square he'd be so fucked he'd put like 3 drops on.
yeah. So you have
And then he
you have
put,
no
like-
idea how much. Yeah, that's fair.
So from a young age, I was like, I ain't
"Ooh,
never
man,
fucking
check
with that
off
shit.
my list." Yeah.
But although LSD does have medicinal properties, I just avoided that shit. But I always was like more of a mushroom guy. I never
Yeah.
ever done acid in my life, which most people wouldn't believe, but I never done it ever.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is like acid is one molecule away from DMT. One time I had something going on when I was 20 years old. I got these mushrooms that were like way stronger than any mushrooms I ever had. Usually mushrooms, you eat the eighth, right?
Yeah.
So an eighth is 3.5 grams of mushrooms. You eat the eighth, and 1 to 2 hours in, you're peaking, right?
Yeah.
Peaking is like the height of your high. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of
It's
course.
like the max. And the next 4 hours, you're coming down. The next 4 hours, you'll be like, yo, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
Because mushrooms, like, it comes in waves. So you'll be like, yo, I'm good. I'm not even high anymore.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
like, 20
And then
minutes later,
something will
you'll get,
happen.
you'll get hit with the next wave or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got these mushrooms that were crazy strong, bro. I was 6 hours in. I was still peaking.
Really?
6 hours in, I was still peaking. And I had some shit going on in my life. And I cried
Yeah.
for an hour straight. I cried.
Yeah.
And then by this, I was at the 6 hour mark,
You
bro.
probably felt a lot better when you got out of it too.
By
though.
the time it was done, I felt 1,000,000%. Like whatever I was crying about was done.
It was gone.
It was
Yeah,
done.
It's all
It was
my
in the
chest.
past.
Yeah.
It was in the past.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
only
yeah.
reason I bring that up is that like mushrooms is one molecule away from ayahuasca or DMT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one molecule away. So I feel like DMT is probably the same way. Like once you get through that,
Yeah.
like
then
it's done. You'll never
you-
think about it again.
Yeah.
It was probably one of those things that I would have harped on for the rest of my life, but because I had done that at such a high dose or whatever,
Yeah. Exactly.
by
You
the
were
time I was done, it was
cleared the
completely finished.
whiteboard. Yeah.
Exactly. Swiped the whiteboard. So I feel like the Ibogaine and ayahuasca thing is probably the same.
I think you're right as far as it goes. And I will say, having done something a little close just with the MDR, as far as I know, it's like different ways to get the same part. It's good. It's good. And I was really good for like a year and a half. Right. But if you don't work on it a little bit too, it's not
It
like it
starts to
ever
trail off.
exactly. It's not like my fears or the shit I was dealing with ever came back fully, but it'll start to creep back a little bit if you don't keep an eye on it as well.
Yeah. So, you know the MAPS program?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget his name, but why can't I remember his name, dude? I think his name is Rook too. It might be Strassman if I'm recalling correctly. But he's the dude who's like the head of drugs, psychedelic drugs getting approved in the UFC.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why can't I think of his name? But he's the head of the MAPS program. If you Google it, is he's the head of the MAPS program, and he's like the first guy to get approved for all these drugs or whatever. He got approved for mushrooms, right?
For like the
And
medicinal mushrooms.
exactly. And the only reason he got approved is because you could only get certified for it if you had PTSD from war for our soldiers.
Yeah. So they're like, well, as long as the VA doesn't have to pay him, let's let him take some shrooms.
Exactly. But this guy, in his results, um, the the solutions for PTSD with mushrooms
Yeah.
studies or whatever, they only lasted for 6 months.
But for
So
Ibogaine,
they no, this is for mushrooms.
I'm saying, but
They
for
only
Ibogaine, it
lasted
was longer, is what I was
for
implying.
yes, for ibogaine, they've had like completely conclusive results where it lasts for a full lifetime. I
That's
think
sweet.
80% of ibogaine users are completely cured of PTSD results for the entirety of their
Really?
life, whereas mushrooms it only lasted 6 months.
Huh. I didn't realize that one.
Clinically, clinical trials it only lasted for 6 months. Ibogaine, 80% of users were cured for the rest of their life, and then the other 20% after 2 doses they were cured for the rest of their life.
Really? That's sweet,
So,
actually.
oh, why can't I think of his fucking dude? This is gonna
That's
drive me
it's
nuts.
okay. That's not the
But
important part, you know.
the head of the MAPS program, MAPS, he's also the guy who wants to get um, ecstasy. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Decriminalized.
Not decriminalized, but approved for medical use for PTSD guys.
Gotcha.
Which, by the way, it should be. It should be
Yeah,
100% because
I could
ecstasy
see a
is the best
world
drug.
where
It's the best drug
medicinally,
ever, bro.
like I feel like if I took ecstasy and then I was in a room where someone was like just telling me all the good things about myself, I would 100% believe them.
But according to the results, ecstasy and mushrooms, they don't have the long lasting results that ibogaine has.
Gotcha.
Ibogaine has forever results, and ecstasy and mushrooms, they don't last as long. But yo, ecstasy, bro, I've only ever done it twice. So I have a testing kit, right?
Yeah.
A little testing kit
Yeah.
where you can test every molecule in whatever you get. It comes with a bunch of different droppers, and you cut a piece off and you put a dropper on each piece, and then it gives you the chemical result. There's a chart or whatever, and it tells you exactly what the chemical makeup of whatever you got is.
Yeah.
Like for instance, one time I got ecstasy, and what you want is MDA or MDMA, right?
Okay, yeah.
Which is
Which
four
I've
different molecules, MDMA,
Oh, okay.
whatever.
I've heard that so many times I don't think I realized it was the molecules that they are though.
Yeah, so that's what ecstasy is, right? So the kit that I have, you have a dropper for every molecule or whatever, and it lets you know exactly what it is or whatever.
Yeah.
And for instance, one time I got ecstasy that looked like a um, Louis Vuitton bar. It had like the little Louis Vuitton
Yeah,
shape on it.
yeah, yeah.
And when I dropped it, it came back as MDAA, not MDMA,
Interesting.
which
So what does that mean?
MDAA has kind of meth side effects to it.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So it's not pure
Yeah, yeah,
MDA.
yeah.
It has more of a stimulant side effect to it. So I
Yeah,
didn't do that.
exactly.
But the point that I'm raising is that only twice in my life have I had the Molly, ecstasy, E bombs, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it,
yeah.
come up 100% MDMA, which is what
Really?
you want. That means it's pure ecstasy. But
Gotcha.
bro, like in movies, right?
Yeah.
When they show a guy on mushrooms, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he sees like pink elephants flying in the sky, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That was
that's nothing like what mushrooms is, right?
yeah, but was that with ecstasy?
MDMA, ecstasy, that's the only drug that they get right in movies. I always say
Really?
that. When I tell you pure MDMA, you feel a level of happiness
That you've never
that
experienced.
you didn't know was possible. You literally you think about yourself it's a level of happiness that you can't even comprehend in words. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that I can say that can like explain to you what MDMA is
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. Because it legitimately is pure joy. Like
it's
in
pure joy.
yeah,
Like there's nothing that you could do wrong in the world. Like for instance, one time I gave my girlfriend's brother, right? I gave him pure MDMA. I had tested it with all the kits, right? 3 droppers on a raging kit. A raging kit is what they call the testing kit
yeah.
for Molly, right? It's called a raging kit for those of you who, want to know about it. If you want to Google it, look it up and purchase it, it's called a raging kit. And you get 3 different droppers and you cut off 3 little pieces of the pill, the rock, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
then you put it, what I would do is I'd put it in a water bottle cap,
Okay, yeah.
right? Like the cap of a water bottle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You cut off a little slice of the pill, you put it in the water bottle cap,
You let
and
it
then you put a
dissolve.
dropper on it.
Oh, okay, got you.
You
Yeah.
just put the dropper on it. You have 3 different ones because there's 3 different forms, so you make sure that it's the exact chemical molecule, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one time I made sure it was 100% MDMA with the Raging Kit, which is honestly, I'm the type of guy who I want to test my drugs. I don't trust anything because I grew up in the fentanyl
Yeah, for
days.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and nowadays it's just like that they say everything is laced with anything at this point. So like, yeah, why not?
Exactly. So I want to test that shit for any drug. I have tester kits for everything
Yeah.
just to make sure that I'm good 100%. But so
Yeah.
I tested this shit. It was MDMA. I gave it to my brother-in-law, right? He
Yeah.
took a little bit too much,
Oh
right?
no.
And he was all stressed. And he was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. That's what he kept saying.
Yeah.
But I knew that I had tested it. So there was no chance he was
So
going to
you're
die
okay. You're
because
okay,
I
dude.
knew
This
it.
is a hunt. There's
I,
this is all
I,
this is.
I covered my bases 100%. Like
Yeah.
I was like, there's no chance.
You can't overdose in this
And
really.
exactly. So he thought he was going to overdose, but he was fine. At the end of the night, he ended up being fine. But meanwhile, I left him that night and I had one of the best nights I've ever had. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the level of happiness you feel on ecstasy or MDMA,
It
whatever you want to call it,
is amazing.
it's incomprehensible, bro. Like, especially guys who struggle with mental health problems like me and
Yeah.
you cannot,
Because it's like,
like,
is it that joy that you never knew you had, or is this like a supernatural joy that you're like, holy
bro, you
shit, I
remember
can't
when
even
you
wrap my
felt
mind around
birthdays
it?
when you were a kid?
Yeah, is it like that?
And then you remember when you turned about 12 and you go, yo, they don't hit the same?
Yeah, fudge, dude.
Dude, exactly, bro.
Yeah. Oh man,
This takes you back to
when
before
you were a
when
kid.
birthdays didn't hit the same, bro.
Yeah, I get it. I
You're
get
like,
it, man.
yo, I understand this feeling. Like,
Yeah, life is amazing.
like I can't put it into words. A lot of people try to put it into words, and I don't want to put it to shame, but you cannot put it into words how amazing you feel. You're like, oh my
Damn,
god.
dude.
So the reason that I bring this up is because the leader of MAPS, I can't remember his name, whatever. He's the lead scientist who is getting ecstasy mushrooms approved for clinical trials for PTSD patients in the United States.
Yeah,
He's proven over studies that MDMA and mushrooms, they only have 6 months of lasting.
yeah,
Uh,
gotcha.
like it only lasts for 6 months before
Yeah,
it wears off, before you have to do it again. Whereas Ibogaine has done.
yeah,
Done. You
yeah,
do it once, you do Ibogaine once, and 80% of the people who do it completely cured for the rest of their life. I don't care how many slims you shot up in the Middle East.
yeah, yeah. Well,
80%
that's what I was thinking. Like
done.
when you're saying this, it's like, man, imagine like, man, you had a rough time out there. You come back from war, maybe you're even in therapy, and you're just like, I'm trying it and it's not working. But then you have like that medicinal ecstasy, and for the first time in years, you feel happiness, and you go, "Oh my
Exactly.
gosh, I forgot what that's like." So now maybe you go back to therapy after that too, so you can keep the ball rolling a little bit because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I can feel happiness again. You have something to shoot for. You have a goal to work towards, right? Whereas like if you never had that in the first place, you never would have known just how good maybe life can be for you. I get it.
All right.
I see them the for sure. I definitely see the medicinal use
Yeah.
of
So
that,
I've
especially
experienced both of those. I've experienced the MDMA or MDMA happiness and the mushroom happiness. But like that dude was saying, it
But it
only
keeps
lasts for
crawling
six
back. It
months.
doesn't last forever. Yeah.
For 6 months, you're cured. You have no symptoms, anything like that. But the Ibogaine, apparently, although I've never done it, it's one of the only drugs I've never done.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean, according to Rick Perry and whoever the governor of Texas was, whoever that dude is, who, by the way, was completely against drugs.
Yeah, he was super anti
The governor
until
of Rick,
he
the governor of
sponsored a guy.
Texas, he was completely against drugs. He had a family member who had PTSD. They had sent him to all the therapy, everything like that. And then they finally sent him down to get Ibogaine,
And it worked.
and he was cured. And this dude is completely anti-drug. He wants nothing to do. He's the governor of fucking goddamn Texas. He was. He's not anymore. But he was
Yeah.
the fucking governor of goddamn Texas. And he goes,
Yeah,
yeah,
of all the states. You
he
know.
could not be more anti-drug, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
And he sends a family member down to get the Ibogaine, and he's cured, bro.
Yeah.
Cured.
Yeah.
There's been people who have been drug addicts for 20 years living on the streets, addicted to heroin, right? They've been sent down to Mexico to get the Ibogaine, completely cured.
And they come back and they're like,
And the reason
Yeah.
that they do this is because apparently it's not a good trip.
really? Oh, it clears out it gets all the demons out.
Apparently it's
Oh, yeah, I
multiple
remember.
days.
Ron White was talking about this. Of like you're either vomiting,
Yes, he's done it
or
multiple
you're
times.
shitting it. Yeah.
That's ayahuasca. That's ayahuasca that he's talking about.
But still, though, yeah.
But the clinic that you go down to get the Ibogaine, the first day is Ibogaine, and then a couple of days later they give you ayahuasca, and apparently the ayahuasca recalibrates everything.
Gotcha.
And you're doing this in a hospital setting, like under the guise of doctors who.
And they
like,
say when you're on the high, go to the dark place, right? Because that's where.
just follow it wherever it takes you because you want to
Gotcha.
address these demons. The same thing when I did
Well,
that mushroom trip
Yeah.
where I got really strong mushrooms. Like you want to kind of go into that to kind
Yeah.
of conquer whatever
Well,
your problem is.
That's what EMDR was. He's like, we're going to the dark spot. Like we're digging that hole, and then when you're there, we're gonna dig you out, basically.
Exactly. So
We're gonna get to
same
the
thing when I
bottom of the
had that
well.
mushroom trip where I did the 8th and I hadn't even peaked the 6 hours because they were really strong. And then I cried for the next like 5 hours. But it's the same thing with the Ibogaine. Like the reason that Ibogaine is non-addictive is because apparently it's a terrible time
Really?
for the entirety.
Yeah.
But you heard about the white matter around your brain?
Yeah, and how it heals it basically.
Exactly. So there's no drug known to man.
That'll can
There's
do that
not
for
a
you.
single medicinal drug that can grow white matter around your brain, right?
Yeah.
On Rick Perry's first episode of Joe Rogan, he explained this, right? He said there was this dude whose mom had Alzheimer's, right? She couldn't read, she couldn't write, she couldn't remember where she was at, nothing like that. He took his mom down to Mexico to get the Ibogaine treatment. All of a sudden, she's reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
She remembers everything.
Yeah, clears all that out. Dude, especially with stuff like that, have you ever heard of like plasmapheresis treatment at all?
No.
I've been listening to stuff of like, so do you know what plasma is?
Yeah, your
So-
blood.
Yeah, it's in your blood. That's what carries your red blood cells to and fro. It's basically the water to go and carry everything that you like carry your blood around. It's the liquid. But the like I feel like not that we have the cure for Alzheimer's or dementia, but like listening to like the Rick Perry explain like Ibogaine helps against Alzheimer's a lot. And then I've been listening a lot to plasmapheresis stuff because think of all the gunk that's in your bloodstream that your body can't get out. That is just
100%.
stuck in there. You take your plasmapheresis and it runs your plasma through a filter and then gives you new fresh stuff. And apparently it's like it can slow dementia down that's building up in your brain by up to 60% if you start doing plasmapheresis and get it all, just get your blood cleaned out from everything, dude. So it's cool because I think, like, I know we'll have a cure for it in our lifetime, but we've got a lot of stuff that can help it a ton. You know, that can really help people with
But
dementia.
honestly,
but the
not-
issue is it's
not
alternative
if you live in the
medicine.
U.S.
Well, that's the thing is it's alternative medicine because big pharma doesn't know how to make it like money off of it
Exactly.
yet, right? So it's like
Exactly.
it sucks because there's gonna be so many people that would never try it. You know, I mean, I even like I told Mikal, I was like, dude, if I find out I've got terminal cancer, yes, I'm gonna do chemo, right? Or radiation or whatever they want, but I'm also gonna do a lot of other shit. as well.
Yeah.
You know, like even down to like looking at peptides, right? Where it's like, yeah, like I'm going through chemo and poisoning myself. So I'm probably not getting my like this amino chain, this protein, this like whatever I need. So why not also on top of it start taking your
Give
peptides?
it a shot,
That's
dude.
that's the whole point. You ever see Dallas
Try
Buyers Club
everything.
at all?
Yes.
That's the whole point of Dallas Buyers Club. Is he's like, I could take your medicine, which is poison for sure, and it's gonna like kill whatever it needs to, and but also my body's going without X, Y, and Z because I'm on the medicine. So that's all Dallas Buyers Club is like I'm just giving myself extra uh basically like the proteins, the vitamins, the that it needs to go and like help heal itself and build back an immune system. So
So I've watched a bunch of like documentaries on like people who cured cancer or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah,
All that shit.
yeah,
In fact, the chick that I used to date before Mary, um, her neighbor, right?
yeah.
He was like he was a 90-year-old man, right? He was like 90 years old. I'm sorry, I meant to vape right quick.
No, you're good.
But so the girl that I dated before Mary, he was a 90-year-old man, her neighbor. I was going to her house one time. I seen her neighbor going to get his mail, right? He had an ankle monitor on.
Really?
And I was like, yo, why does he got an ankle monitor on?
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah, yeah,
fucking 90 years old.
yeah.
Yo, so he was a like a medical biologist or something like that, right? And
Oh,
he came out with a topical cream, right?
yeah.
And he like was selling this topical cream, and then people were writing back and they were saying, yo, his topical cream cured my cancer.
Nice.
Cured
Yeah.
my cancer. So then he, like the FDA, obviously was like, you can't
Starts
claim that your
banging on his
product
door.
proves cancer or
Yeah.
or cures cancer, right?
Yeah.
So
You're
literally,
messing
her
up our money.
neighbor, exactly. So her neighbor was on house arrest because he tried to fight these claims that his topical cure cured cancer, and they put him on
Really?
fucking house arrest. It was
Jeez,
a
dude.
90-year-old man
It's
who was
so
on house
corrupt,
arrest.
man. So corrupt.
Yeah,
That
but
sucks.
so that ties into RSO, which is Rick Simpson's oil. You ever heard about Rick Simpson's oil?
I think like briefly when I was like maybe 18 or something like that. That
So
sounds familiar.
back in the day, they made a Vice documentary that was called Kids Who Get High.
Yeah.
This is way back in the
This is
day
probably where
when
I heard it.
Yeah, this is probably where you heard it. Colorado was the first state that legalized weed, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of parents whose kids had cancer, and they would move them to Colorado so they could get this stuff called RSO, right? It's called Rick Simpson's oil, which is just
Isn't it
I'm trying
that's
to think of
they used to call it just cannabis oil, right?
kind of cannabis oil as dabs, but RSO is a little bit more intensive than that. They take the weed and then they bubble it down with Everclear alcohol, and then they burn out all the alcohol, and they bubble it down to like the most fine
Basically like oil.
pure
Yeah.
version of that it is. RSO gets you like high as fuck. But there was a bunch of parents who, when their kids had cancer, they brought them to Colorado and they started giving them RSO, Rick Simpson's oil, and it started curing their cancer.
I wonder why. Man, I wonder what that does to like your body to go and
And
like
these kids were taking doses that like even me at the height of my weed smoking
you were
days
like, I would never.
would have never been able to handle. But they had proven that the RSO was killing the cancer cells in these children.
Really?
Yes.
Man, that's sweet.
So there's a lot of shit like that. Like me and Mary
Yeah.
always say that if one of us gets Alzheimer's, we're gonna give each other pure LSD. Because there was another study that I read one time of this guy who gave his mom LSD, who was experiencing Alzheimer's, the same thing that happened when you give somebody ayahuasca or ibogaine that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This guy started giving his mom microdoses of LSD, and it reversed the symptoms of her Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Man, I'm
So
telling
there's
you,
like a lot of different medicinal medicines that can help.
I feel like if you looked up countries with first world countries with lowest Alzheimer's and dementia rates, right? Because everyone knows how to diagnose this. It's not like autism where it's like the US has a really broad like sword when it goes to diagnosing autism, whereas like compared to Scandinavia they don't diagnose it as much, right? But like dementia and Alzheimer's, everyone's got the same like signs for it. If you Google probably what nation has the least amount of Alzheimer's, and then you look at whatever their medical treatments are that are legal in that country, right? I'm sure there's a good crossover as far as like basically like what would be considered alternative medicine in the United States, which is just normal medicine in other countries to keep people and start fighting Alzheimer's and dementia diseases because making people sick is a billion-dollar industry. So I
Yeah,
bet
there's a bunch of shit like
I
that.
bet you're right. I guarantee there's a direct correlation with shit like that. And yeah, I'm pretty pro like medical tourism as far as like
Oh, 100%.
we to think that your country has all the answers and are the best at it is hubris, right? And that is your downfall, right? But it's like there's plenty of other people around the world that have had the same issues and they've gone it the same way and probably had more success than we ever could because of it's not illegal in their country.
100%.
Yeah. But anyway, man, that's we hit an hour 15, so we're cooking with
Oh,
gas,
that's good.
cooking with gas right now, which is great because I also was like, ooh, I might have to wing it this one as far as stuff to talk about. So that was a really good episode, man. That was awesome.
Hell yeah.